For those of you who aren't familiar with the character, that's John McClane. Not the one holding the sign, but the one reading it. Detective McClane is a no-nonsense New York cop who really loves his job. So much so, most of the Die Hard movies take place while he's off the clock, and he's still working. What happens when McClane eventually dies hard? Where will he go? To heaven or the other place? Let's take a look. I watch these movies every Christmas. It encapsulates what the holidays are all about. Family, love, joy. Jesus Christ! That caught me off guard. I'm sure there's a logical explanation on why an officer would kill someone while they're off duty and out of their jurisdiction. All right, let's start right here. You have a gunman. He rushes into the room. What does John do? He looks like he's giving him a chance to drop the weapon. All right, it looks like he's saying something to the tune of freeze. Now drop the weapon or I'll be forced to thrash you, yada, yada, yada. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, 6. Okay, that's not fair. I don't know if anyone outside of Jesus Christ could have handled this situation any better than John. As clear as the Bible is on murder, it's just as unclear on how to handle murder matters related to law enforcement, military, or self-defense cases. Even after seeing what the terrorists are capable of, McClane still tries to avoid murder at most costs. He gives the perps a warning, and if they don't comply, he takes them down. See, I just hate murder. I think it ought to be a sin. It's like a catch-22 rule when it comes to murder. You could get into heaven if you kill someone. There is no condemnation for those found in Christ who walk in the Spirit, not the flesh. The flip side of that is a person walking in the Spirit probably isn't going around killing people in the first place. With McClane, it's a unique scenario. John has to kill a lot of people to save a lot of people. I'm guessing out of the half of the people he killed, he had a green light to kill half of the half.
Now you listen to me, mister. I don't know who in the hell you think you are or what you're doing. Now we do not want your help. Is that clear? We don't want your help.
All right, see, this might be an issue. He works in New York and he's in Cali right now. That's miles out of his jurisdiction. If the guy in charge is saying shut it down, the right thing to do is shut it down. This is a classic case of Romans 13:1. If you ever want to practice taking direction from God, practice with your local government. Try not to intentionally break the law. I'll admit this is some muddy water. The government in the movie does make a lot of wrong decisions, and every time John pulls a trigger after being given a direct order not to, it's a punishable offense and could land him in jail. Fun fact, you could go to prison and still get to heaven, so John's freedom is on the line. But I'm sure most of us agree, 5 to 10 years is way shorter than forever. If the murders won't keep him out of heaven, what will? There's some bright spots when you're looking at McClane's spirit. The main reason for the trip to the West Coast is this woman. See, that's what it's all about. Hebrews 13:4. Let marriage be held in honor among all. All right, so what's going on here? Now, I don't think people who go to heaven are the only ones that care about marriage. It's a lot of people going to hell who love marriage just as much as Jesus does. What I want to look at is John's heart. It sounds like he wants to apologize.
I want you to tell her that, Al. I want you to tell her that, John said that he was sorry.
Actually, it sounds like he wants to apologize for something they both should be apologizing for. Both McClane and his wife put their careers before their marriage, which is the root of the argument. If they live in New York, John gets to keep his detective job in New York. If they move to LA, Holly gets to keep her job in LA. I'm going to give McClane, cool points for trying to make peace. Even though he doesn't agree with his wife's decision, this type of sacrificial love is the building block of Christian marriage. All right, so he's showing sacrificial love like Jesus. He's fighting for a marriage like a Christian should. So use your eyes here. If it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, you probably have a drinking problem because ducks don't even talk. Even in Christian marriages, you have an exit strategy. If your spouse is a cheater, you're able to get out of there. McClane and his wife were separated for 6 months. That's a whole lot of solitary confinement. Man wasn't meant to live alone, and I'm sure McClane didn't. If you watch him closely, it's clear he's tempted by lust. Often. Look at the eye contact. When I was a kid and my dad would look at a woman like this, it meant I was getting a stepmother for Christmas. Even in moments of danger when lives are on the line, McClane can only think of one thing. Technically, 2 things. Look at how quickly he gets distracted when he sees the view of the naked woman. His lustful behavior is typical for the tendencies you find in people struggling with porn addictions, fornication, or infidelity. I'm not sure what's McClane's go-to sin, but I got a couple guesses because he smiled from ear to ear when he saw the nip slip pics on the wall. The good news is you can still get to heaven if you've watched porn or read dirty magazines. The bad news is, for those who enjoy watching porn or reading dirty magazines, there's no porn or dirty magazines when you get there. If I tell McClane, you could go to heaven, but no more of this and that, Do you think he's the type of person that's still gonna wanna go? He's already got his job ranked higher than his wife. And when you add porn into the mix, heaven might not even be in his top 5 on things he cares about. If you really want to get into heaven, at some point, God is going to have to crack your top 5. I'm not making this up. Matthew 22:37-38 says, love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the first and the greatest commandment. The second is love your neighbor as yourself. At this point in McClane's life, he sucks at the first commandment, but with the amount of Die Hard sequels they make, he has a lot of time to have God climb up top his rankings. With that second one though, McClane is a beast. He knows only 1 out of the 33 hostages at the Nakatomi Plaza. All right, right here, he was hiding when the gunman rushed the building. He had every opportunity to run and leave the building. From what I see, I think he loves his wife. I'm not even sure if he even likes Jenny. No one else in this movie universe outside of Jesus is dying for Nakatomi hostage number 3, Kissing Man hostage number 4, or Jenny's unborn child on their day off during their vacation, or while traveling miles outside of their jurisdiction. McClane saved those hostages for one reason and one reason only, because he would want to be saved if he was one of them. On Christmas Eve 1988, McClane killed 10 men. More than likely they deserved it, but who am I to judge? Along with murder, McClane's spiritual resume includes a failing marriage where he continues to put his wife's needs on the back burner, but criticizes her when she does the exact same thing to him. His bad attitude rubs people the wrong way and lands him on the opposing end of the authorities' investigation. What does all this mean? Is he going to heaven? McClane does a lot of things wrong, but the wrong things he does doesn't automatically keep him out of heaven. The only prerequisite is believing in Jesus, which is easier said than done. McClane loves his neighbors as himself and is truly selfless when it comes to his horizontal relationships. People who flawlessly put others before themselves with no motivation tend to excel when it comes to putting Christ first when they reach that fork in the road. His ability to sacrifice his life with no tangible incentive leads me to believe John will or has taken the steps he needs to take to get to heaven. It's not up to me, but in my opinion, Detective McClane is definitely, most certainly, probably getting into heaven. Yay or nay? Do you agree? Let me know where you think this movie character is going when he dies. What movie character do you want me to kill next? Discuss next time. Leave some suggestions in the comment section and hit that subscribe button to see who's next.